What made you not want to have kids? When I realized that having a kid would mean that kid would have me as a parent. Raised my siblings. I'm done. I had a child born with Duchennes Muscular Dystrophy. I felt incredibly guilty for bringing such a lovely child into this world with so much difficulty he faced. After he passed away, I never wanted to bring another child into this cruel world. My parents. They weren't good examples to learn from. The economy and financial instability. Honestly, no idea. Just never envisioned a future with children. Deleted. Just never felt that maternal urge. And it's cruel, wrong to have them unless you actually want them. Seeing them in the wild. Giving birth. I like having my free time and don't want to ruin it. The thought of just being pregnant is terrifying. Also, you have to dedicate your entire life to them. Honestly, parents. They make their lives sound like hell but then always top it with, "Oh, but it's the best thing ever and so worth it." Doesn't sound like it to me, lol. If I can't afford a house, what makes you think I can afford a child? The economy is a dumpster fire. I am quite fond of sleep, flexibility and money. The thought of pregnancy and going into labor is terrifying to me. Also, during lockdown I could hear my neighbor's kids screaming all day and made me realize I didn't want that in my life. My family ask me and my wife about this all the time. The best way I've found to explain it is to ask them why they don't own horses. They're impractical, expensive, require constant attention. I'd probably have to relocate. Why would I want one in the first place, etc. The exact same arguments apply. Kids. I hate interruptions, inconveniences, and misunderstandings with a passion. I can't get pregnant and know I'm not ready to be a parent yet. Can't be a good influence for a young one if I'm still occasionally flocking up with drugs, self-harming, and not doing well. That stuff emotionally transfers to the kid and isn't conducive to a healthy environment for growth. Was raised in a religion that told me the only purpose in life was to raise a family. Then I was abused by a church leader and decided I don't want any potential kids that would have to deal with me and all of my baggage, despite therapy and medications improving my life the past year or so. Asterisk gestures around wildly. I hate working. I hate having to work my whole life. Why would I make more people that have to work their whole lives? Hard pass. A kid may upgrade my quality of life but may also hurt it. My life is too good kid-free that the benefit doesn't outweigh the risk. I'd much rather regret not having a kid someday than regretting having one. Having to take care of my half-siblings, changing shitty diapers and all that fun stuff starting when I was 10. Plus they were brats and made home life miserable. Now I'm pushing 60, been with my wife 40 years, no regrets not having kids. The pregnancy experience alone is a no. FYI, just being pregnant is painful. Not even second term, but the first weeks of pregnancy it hurts to just be pregnant. 9 months of that, and then the real work begins? No thank you. Usually it's people who have kids that make me not want to have kids. Dating a woman with kids for 4 years. Loved them and everything, but looking back I'm so flocking glad I don't have those responsibilities anymore. I'm sure I will be downvoted for this, but honestly I was afraid of having a child with autism or health issues of some sort. I just don't think I'm strong enough to deal with those scenarios. My own abusive childhood, state of the world, selfishness, take your pick. The thought of having a child who is so miserable and depressed and resents their parents for bringing them into existence. Like me. I don't like people. By having kids you multiply the number of people you have to know, hear about and interact with exponentially. Other parents, teachers, in-laws and other kids. Fuck that. I like my freedom. Now I can live my life on my terms and am not held back by anything. I never felt the urge to become a father, and also, I don't think I could handle the responsibility. Taking care of myself and my cat is enough. Deleted. Myself as a kid. There's absolutely no flocking way I'd be able to cope if I had kids and they turned out like I was a flocking nightmare. My parents are absolute saints for having the willpower to not drown me in the bathtub. My mom's parents were verbally and emotionally abusive to her. My mom was emotionally and verbally abusive to me. And I know I'm emotionally messed up enough from it that I, whether I knew it or not, would emotionally and verbally abuse my own kid. I don't want to be responsible for another generation of messed up kids. Giving birth is scary and brutal AF. So much can happen and I'm not willing to suffer hours and hours of pain while a bunch of nurses and doctors look at my vagina. No thank you. I go through world news and don't want to replicate. Always wanted to be a mom. Think I still do, but with ongoing health issues and after multiple surgeries I'm not willing to risk my own health getting worse due to pregnancy, childbirth and can't afford surrogacy. I have had depression my entire life and I'd never want to risk giving anyone else this pawn. Besides kids themselves, parents. I don't think I've ever seen a non-miserable parent when the kid is under 10. Having kids. My mom is an old-school Southern-raised black mom, which means she had kids and household responsibilities that were passed off to the oldest daughter, aka me. I raised my young siblings and ran the second part of the household until I was able to leave and go away for college. My adulthood life is for me. And I am starting to feel less and less guilty about that. Crippling depression. Honestly, the fact that I don't think I'll ever be mentally stable enough to be a good parent for them. Kinda hard to come to terms with as I do really want kids, but I don't think I'll ever be good, just on shaky ground, and children deserve better than that. My grandma was an OB nurse and told me some absolute horror stories. Hard pass on taking that chance. I absolutely flocking hate kids. The noises they make, be it happy or sad, is like ear sandpaper which just instantly makes me angry. I know 100% I'm not cut out to be a parent. I have a bunch of health problems and it wouldn't be right to pass them on to someone else knowingly. I would probably adopt if I ever decided I do want kids. My health problems aren't bad, just inconvenient. Have you spent any time around kids? Not wanting kids seems like the obvious answer. Blows my mind that some people watch little Timmy spray feces all around the house and conclude, yes, this is what my life is missing. Deleted. Having met quite a few, also having been one for several years, I felt I had enough evidence to completely swerve that whole branch of hell. Me and my siblings lol. Growing up I saw how much my mother struggled with us and I knew out of the gate that it's not something I wanted, unless I make much more money down the line or something. People, they expect me to do it, so I'm not doing it. My dad needing to grab some milk and never coming back LMAO just seems like a lot to deal with. It is what it is. I'd feel bad bringing a kid into this world, just gonna enjoy my life and maybe find someone who feels the same one day. Never found life fun and nice enough to ask someone to do it for 80+ years just because I think it's a cool idea. And the current state of the world, for me it's too cruel to place someone in this mess.